I think what I'm going to focus on today, so we're going to go ahead and use this Mod Podge and the glue gun, and we're going to make some with that, because I'm wondering if you can just, like I said, with the little glue sticks that go with these, if you go with this. And also, I think I'm going to do plaster of Paris today with you guys for the banana. And I may do plaster of Paris with this too, with one of these, and see how that works, because I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to let this heat up, go get my plaster of Paris, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is heated up. You can tell it's starting to come onto the wax paper. So I'm going to take and just start putting in, just like if you were putting hot glue onto something, okay? Do you see how I filled the cavity of that? And this is what I'm talking about. If you're trying to do a really deep mold, you better be ready to keep on doing this, and fast. Just doing a couple different ones just to show you. Let's do, and I do think these are the catalysts for the flowers, so the flowers go into this, I think. Let me put this down, maybe you can see better. And now you can see what I was cutting off. See how this gets onto the mold? That's the part I cut off. These little, I don't know, these are some kind of little berries. Or little parts of the flower. I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, they'll be cute. And you'll be amazed at how fast these pop out. Then I'm going to do a couple blueberries. Now you could do the same thing if you had your resin mixed. You would just pour your resin into each, or you would put in your air-dried clay. Same thing, just the same exact thing, only they're just going to come out different, you know. But I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I'm doing these molds, and I want to give time to get that ice cream cone, that second one, give it time to mold, to set up and cure, so I can show you that one. What I do is, as you can see, I press down on this stick, because it does start bugging your hand, I'll tell you. It'll seep down into the mold. Okay, so we're going to let those sit for a minute, and I'll be back and we'll pop them out. Okay, what I did is I just mixed some plaster of Paris with some cold water, and here is my banana mold. Okay, so I'm going to try it on one. I want to make sure that it works. I don't want to ruin the mold, but it should pop out, I would think. So let's pour. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, and then I have a little bit left of the plaster of Paris, very little. Let's do one lemon. So here's the lemon. We're just trying different mediums to see how these work. Let's do one berry. let me take this. I'm going to show you right now before I pour this. Okay, it was just a couple minutes ago that we put these in with the Mod Podge sticks, right? Look at how these pop out. And there's your berry. Look how easy. Got to get my fingers on it. Look at that. Okay, so let's put, I'm curious to see how this plaster of Paris works with the, and it's going to take time for this to set up, so we're not going to see this right away. Well, I guess I will do one strawberry. Okay, so I will be back in a little bit to show you the ice cream cone. These are going to have to set, but we'll look at what I put in with the glue gun. So now, the plaster of Paris isn't set, and I told you it wouldn't. It's going to take probably about 4 or 5 hours at least, even though it's hot today. This is a deep mold, okay? So by the touch, yes, it's getting hard, but I know it's not cured. So if I tried to take this out now, it would break and it would be terrible. With the lemon, to touch it, you can see it's a little bit moist on top. Okay, these are, again, the Mod Podge sticks, and these are blueberries. You really can't tell too much because it's not painted yet, but that is what the mold is. I'm just taking the little pieces off from the top. These come out really, really easy. So when I paint them, I'll bring you along. So those are my molds right now. Like I said, when the other molds are cured, I will come back and show you. I'm going to take this one out now of the berry with the plaster of Paris, and let's see what happens. Okay, there's the plaster of Paris. It did work. Okay, I went ahead and took the banana out. Now, I don't know if it's because I didn't mix a complete amount of plaster of Paris. I'm not sure, but let me show you. I show you the failure as well as the successes because we're going to have them. See the way that cracked? I don't know if it's just plaster of Paris. I don't know if it's because plaster of Paris really doesn't like silicone. I have no clue. But as you can see, it cracked. I think I'm going to try the air dry clay. And then I'm going to mix the appropriate amounts of plaster of Paris. I will bring you along and we'll see if it makes a difference. Now the strawberry, that came out fine. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I took it out too soon. But, and now we will check the lemon. I think I'll leave. Now I'll let you know how that turns out. But I just wanted to show you this. So, failure. So I'll try again. Okay, guys, I wanted to show, since we're doing our molds for the Sweet Treat series, I can't tell you what I've gone through trying to find an ice cream mold. And I was willing to buy it. But then time got of the essence, too close, not enough time to get it, to wait for it to ship, and then to do the series. So I was in bed, okay, which I do very often, and I kept thinking, what could I use to make a mold? Now, I'm going to use these, and these were the little ice cream, bubble ice creams from the Dollar Tree, okay, and they're very little. And next year, I will be more on top of it, and I will get a mold. I'll get a mold, and we will do them next year. And I'll show you with the mold I get. But for this year, I didn't have time for all that. I just had to get this going. And then I remembered when I worked at the grocery store, we sold these, you know, the little, where you put the baby's handprint in? Well, we were getting rid of them. And so they went on clearance. And I remember these were like 10 cents for the packages without the rest of the mold for the heart and all that. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just get them because, you know, let me tell you, that was 20 years ago. My grandson, the one I did the actual handprint on, and the reason I bought these in the beginning, is going to be 25 years old this month. Okay, so that tells you how long I've had these, okay? So I started thinking, okay, this is the molding part. And I thought, okay, what could I use? So I had this plastic cup, and I thought, okay, it's big enough to hold this. But I knew I was going to have to use more than one of these. So yesterday, I tried it, and it worked. Look. So I'm going to do it with you. Now, it's not, you know, it's not great, but it's going to do for this series. And like I said, next year, I'll get the mold and we'll make some more. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in to cold water, okay? And you have a very, very short time, okay? Let me tell you, it's you have quickly mix gel for 30 seconds. Pour it into your container of whatever you're going to be molding with, okay? And then put whatever it is you're going to mold into the container, and you'll see me do this. And then you let it sit for a minute. And then you can pull this out of the gel. Now, after you have that done, you've got to mix your plaster of Paris, okay? And you know by watching the things I've done before, you have a little bit of time, but not much, with plaster of Paris before it starts to thicken. So I have a couple molds ready because I know I'm going to have more in here than what I'm going to need in here. So I'll get some molds and just, you know, pour some stuff in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our measuring cup, okay? And you're going to have 3/4, but since I'm doing 2, I'll do 2 3/4 of cold water. Okay, now this is going to be worked really quick, guys, and I mean quick, okay? Once this gel goes in there, I have my plaster of Paris ready. I have my water ready for that. But this stuff sets very quick. Very quick. What I think it is, I think it is what they use to make molds when they're doing your teeth. Quick. But it's weird because all of a sudden you're holding it and then it's like, oh, it's stuck. You don't want to get it to the bottom because you don't want it to get too thin. Okay, and in just a minute, I won't have to hold it. It's weird. It's already starting to set. Look at that. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. I know this is something like what they use when they do the impressions for your teeth. I know it is. You know when you have bridge work done or whatever. Okay, now you don't touch that again, and you're just going to let that sit. So I'm going to let that sit while I do this because I want to show you what it looks like and how fast it works. Okay, look at this. And it's like rubber already. That quick. That's why you have to work so quick. because now, if you waited until it got like this, you wouldn't be able to use it. It is the most bizarre stuff I've ever seen. And I know you can still get this, and this is old, you guys. This is 20 years old, and it still works. Look at that. It's nothing but rubber now, or a rubber substance. But this is what it is. If you go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, they still make these, okay? Or you can go online and just get 3D gel molding compound. All right, so that's what it is. So take a screenshot of that if you ever want to do this. Probably for, I'm going to let it sit probably about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to clean up, and then I'll bring you back when I mix the plaster of Paris and we pour it. Okay, look. Listen. So what I'm going to do now is I want to get the suction off of this again. But now I have the imprint, the impression of this. Okay, here we go. And I can feel it's kind of warm in here, but I think it's already set, I hope. I think it is. Okay, here we go. Remember, I poured in the plaster of Paris into this mold after I made it. And like I said, this only works once. This isn't like a silicone mold where you can use it repeatedly. Let's see. Yep, it worked. Revealing. And there is my little made from my Dollar Tree Bubbles ice cream cone. What I'll do, this is no big deal because ice cream is going to be going on top of it. Now, like I said, I'm using it for this year. It's going to be fine. So I wanted to show you how I use that 3D gel that you can get. And if you're a hygienist, you probably can get some of this. Because I know this is what they make molds out of. I just know it. For the teeth. Okay, guys. I'll be back and we'll finish up our mold series. Okay, I wanted to show you some of the molds. Now, like I said, I showed you some of these and you saw the ice cream cone yesterday. But the bananas came out so good with the air dry clay. The plaster one, I think I'll still try to glue that together. But these berries, oh my gosh, and the strawberries, these are going to turn out adorable. Also, well, this one really turned out good. The orange slice, when that's painted, these with you guys for a little while, okay? So, I think the banana is almost the color it should be. I might try to add a little bit of yellow to it, but I want to get my paints together and then we'll paint some of this. Okay, so I'm going to start painting the banana, and I'm using ivory and parchment. I don't want it too yellow. And like I said, this air dry clay or the plaster of Paris just sucks this paint right up. I was going to add a little antiquing to it, but I don't think I'm going to because I don't want it to look like it's getting brown, if you will. Because I don't know about you, I don't like eating brown bananas. I know they get sweeter, but I don't like them. Because in this mold, it has, I know they had to have used a real banana to make this mold. I know they did. Because it is like looking at it, the inside of a banana. Which is going to be perfect for our sweet series. So I'm going to let that dry, and then when it's dry, I'll do the underside, and then I will I'll probably use this matte varnish because I don't want it to be shiny. And I've had this forever. I'm going to go and paint the other one, paint the back side, and then I'll come back when I'm varnishing it. Okay, what I've done is I have been painting, as you can see here, the blueberries, the raspberries, strawberries, some leaves, the bananas. And what I'm going to do now, I think, is I'm going to take a little bit of antiquing, and I'm going to antique some of this. I don't think I'm going to do it to the bananas. I want to leave those the way they are because of where I'm putting them. But these, I think I will do some antiquing. And then this strawberry that came out of our mold, and then this leaf or this catalyst, whatever you want to call it, I think looks cute on this strawberry. But like I say, I'm going to varnish these as well, so I'm not done yet. And then the lemon, I'm going to get a little bit of white and put some white in here. And the blueberries, I'm going to add a little bit of black into that, make them a little darker. Some of them I'll leave. And those were done with remember our Mod Podge glue sticks? All of this actually, except for this particular strawberry and this berry, all of these were out of the Mod Podge sticks. And then the lemons and the bananas, those were out of the air dry clay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the antiquing and the varnish, and I'll be back when I get those together. Okay, so here is one of the ice cream cones that we made the mold out of and casted it. Turned out pretty good. And I think I'm okay with the color. So I'm going to leave that. And what I did, classic caramel, parchment, and a little bit of school bus yellow. So I've got to get some more in there. So let's do this together. And today, like I said, we're just getting our molds done that we've done together. And then you'll see how I put them with my other okay, alright, a little close. I just want you to be able to see. Paris does soak up a lot of the paint. I think I'll add a little more yellow. And like I said, next year, before summer, I will get a ice cream mold, but I'll get the one that has like, I think it has 6 in one, where you can make 6 at a time. But I just was running out of time, so. And this part up here, I don't care a thing about because the ice cream's going to go on top. You're never going to see it. So that is here nor there to me. And like I said, the 3D gel that I have was many, many, many years old. I'm shocked it even worked. So I think that's why it's a little bit pitted here, but again, I don't care about that. I just wanted to get this to show you what you could do. Well, that ended abruptly, didn't it? But that's all the footage I had because I started making the sweet treats, and that was the end of the mold series. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But I hope what you did see, it helps with maybe some understanding on how to cast things and make some molds. Until we get together again, remember the world's a better place because you're in it. Don't ever, ever forget that. Talk to you soon. Bye.